Rudo is a resourceful slum dweller who often sneaks into the junkyards of the wealthy to scavenge discarded items that are still useful. In a world starkly divided between a pristine, privileged city and the struggling slums, everything, including people society deems worthless, ends up in a massive pit of garbage. It's a place where even slightly damaged toys, like a little girl's plush puppy, are tossed away without a second thought. Rudo often risks his life sneaking into the trash collection sites to retrieve salvageable goods. One such trip nearly gets him caught when a guard discovers him. He escapes by hurling garbage at the clean freak guards, who freeze in disgust, letting him escape through a vent. But the following day, news of a garbage raider spreads, and as usual, the blame falls on the slum dwellers. Despite the danger, Rudo continues fixing and selling the items he finds. His friend Chiwa confronts him, asking why he risks so much for trash. He explains that the rich throw away perfectly good things without care, and he feels compelled to give those items new life, and if he can earn a little money from them, even better. Just as Chiwa begins to understand, a group of local boys arrive, mocking Rudo for his stench, his filthy gloves, and his mysterious hands, which he always keeps covered. When they cruelly bring up his past, calling him the son of a murderer, Rudo finally snaps and gives them a chilling glare that sends them fleeing. Afterward, Chiwa reassures him that he's nothing like his biological father and that she believes in him. Rudo is touched, but too shy to express it. He had actually retrieved the little puppy toy from the dump for her as a gift, but before he can give it to her, Chiwa's mother arrives and takes her away. At home, Rudo is greeted by his kind and playful adoptive father, Reggo, who teases him for trying to give Chiwa the toy. Their light-hearted moment turns serious when Reggo expresses concern about Rudo's dangerous excursions to the junkyards. Rudo assures him it's not out of guilt for being adopted. He truly sees Reggo as family and wants to contribute. As Reggo tends to Rudo's injuries and replaces the bandages on his hands, Rudo reflects on his condition. His hands have always been a source of pain and judgment from others. The black gloves Reggo gave him were the only thing that helped ease the pain. Reggo urges him to be honest with Chiwa about his feelings before someone else wins her over. While they're joking about it, a creepy masked figure listens from the shadows outside. The next day, Rudo finally gathers the courage to confess to Chiwa and heads to her house with a puppy toy. Along the way, he sees a familiar and grim sight: another criminal being thrown into the pit. Chiwa joins him, saying it's a brutal practice and begs Rudo to stop risking his life for trash. She reminds him that just because something is discarded doesn't mean it's worth dying for, and that both she and Reggo care about him. Her words leave Rudo stunned. When he hears her say, "Reggo loves you too," his brain short-circuits, interpreting it as her confessing love as well. He awkwardly gives her the puppy toy, saying she might not want it since it came from the trash, but she warmly accepts it, promising to cherish it. Overwhelmed with joy, Rudo dances his way home, eager to tell Reggo. But when he arrives, his joy turns into horror. Rudo finds Reggo lying on the floor, fatally wounded, with the masked man looming over him. The killer turns, locking eyes with Rudo before plunging his blade deeper into Reggo. Rudo lunges in rage, but is swiftly knocked out. By the time he regains consciousness, it's too late. The man who raised him is dead, and everything Rudo thought he had is shattered. As the masked killer walks out, he pauses briefly, glancing back at Rudo, who instinctively tries to follow. But then, he hears a weak voice. Reggo is still alive. With the last of his strength, Reggo urges Rudo to run. Rudo rushes to his side, insisting he'll get help, but Reggo grips his hand and pleads with him instead. Run and change this cursed world into something better. With those final words, Reggo's body falls limp. Rudo is frozen in shock, unable to grasp the reality of what just happened. Before he can react, soldiers storm into the house. Without asking questions, they tackle Rudo to the ground and accuse him of murder. He shouts that it wasn't him, begging them to chase the real killer who had just left, but the guards don't listen. "We caught you red-handed," they sneer. And with no interest in the truth, one of them knocks Rudo unconscious with a heavy punch. When Rudo wakes, he finds himself standing on the scaffold, sentenced to execution. The crowd has gathered, people from the slums and even elites from the city, ready to see him cast into the pit. The judge declares that murder, even of a lowly slum dweller, deserves the harshest punishment. Without mercy, he sentences Rudo to death by exile into the abyss. The crowd cheers, and Rudo still can't believe this is real. All he wants is for just one person to believe in him. His eyes search the sea of faces until they land on Chiwa. Desperately, he cries out to her, "I didn't kill Reggo. Please, find the real killer." But Chiwa steps back, her expression cold. "I trusted you, but you're just like your father after all," she says. Then, in a heartbreaking moment, she drops the puppy toy he had given her and turns away. Her rejection shatters him more than the death sentence. Enraged, Rudo lashes out at the crowd, calling him filth. "You think I'm filth? You're the real garbage. Mindless sheep with no will of your own," he screams. Then, just before he's cast into the pit, he spots a chilling sight: the masked murderer standing among the spectators. But before he can say anything, the executioners throw him over the edge. Rudo plunges down the abyss for what feels like eternity. Eventually, he loses consciousness. When he awakens, he's miraculously alive, his fall cushioned by mountains of trash. Confused, he looks around. The air is heavy with a foul stench so unbearable that even a garbage scavenger like him has to cover his face. Before he can gather his thoughts, a massive shadow looms overhead. He turns and stares in horror at a towering monster made entirely of garbage, glaring at him with glowing eyes and bared fangs. Rudo's mind goes blank with fear. He recalls how society was always obsessed with dumping garbage and criminals into this pit, yet no one ever asked what truly lies at the bottom. That thought had always disturbed him. Snapping back to reality, Rudo bolts as the beast charges at him. But things quickly get worse. The monster lets out a deafening roar, and suddenly, more abominations rise from the trash. Rudo runs with everything he has, but it's futile. He soon finds himself cornered, unsure of whether these creatures are truly sentient or just cursed piles of junk. They lunge. He dodges narrowly but trips, falling face first onto a human skull.
Panic sets in.
Is this the fate that awaits all who fall into the pit? As he scrambles for footing, the unstable trash beneath him gives way, and he tumbles again, landing far below, momentarily safe from the monsters. But safety is an illusion. He realizes with dread that even the air here is poisonous. Every breath feels like knives in his lungs. Covering his face with his gloves, he tries to crawl to safety, if such a place even exists in this hell. Then the nausea hits. Blood spills from his mouth, and the sickening sound draws the monsters back. Rudo collapses, exhausted, unable to move. He's on the verge of surrender when a memory of Reggo flashes in his mind, his dying words, his belief in Rudo. Something stirs deep inside him. A strange surge of energy flows through Rudo's hands. Though he doesn't understand it yet, he feels a shift in his senses. Lights begin to glow faintly from within the trash and from a rusted iron pipe nearby. Determined not to die, Rudo drags himself toward it. He grabs the pipe, steadies himself, and stands. "I will survive. I will return to the surface. And I will make them all pay, for Reggo and for me." Fueled by rage and purpose, Rudo doesn't even flinch as one of the monsters attacks. He swings the iron pipe with a burst of strength, slamming the creature back, without even needing to look. Thanks for watching this long. If you need a part 2, comment part 2 below. Please like and subscribe for more.